What's a moment, from your career that still gives you chills?
Man, this is the first game I played against Jordan. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. Welcome back to Mike Check, where we dive into the stories behind the legends, the lessons behind the success, and the mindset behind greatness. Today's guest, man, is someone who truly embodies that spirit, a Boston native, NBA All-Star, community leader. Am I correct, Dana?
I try to be.
Entrepreneur, and one of the most, and this is my personal right, one of the most smoothest guards to ever do it. And that is a fact. Point blank, period.
Appreciate you.
You know what I'm
Appreciate
saying?
you.
So welcome to the pod, Dana Barros. How you feeling,
No,
my brother?
appreciate you. I'm good, man. I'm in my gym. I got AAU program. I got a 5-court facility. So we have nationals right now going on for the girls. So I got 50 teams. So I have about 30 boys teams and 20 girl teams. So I'm sitting here supporting my girls teams, man.
Oh, okay. Okay, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. I wanted to get straight into it, right?
Yeah.
And this is where, how can I put it? Every legend that I interview, I like to ask certain I like to call it the funny segment, right? The funny segment. So if your basketball career had a theme song, what would it be?
My theme song would be Mama I Made It.
Oof,
Mama I Made It. I think that's Jay-Z. I
absolutely.
don't know if that's the name of the song, but I just remember the chorus, you know. I would say that, or I would say the J Styles P, We Gonna Make It.
Woo! Oh, you cool with Jada now?
Yeah, I just posted a picture where he was at the game. Like I don't kick it with him, but you know, it was good to see him. We chopped it up for a couple of minutes at the Celtics game when he was there a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, I was a music producer. I produce. I started producing in 1998. I did a joint for Luda.
Okay.
I did a joint for Cube and so forth. But unfortunately, that lifestyle, for me at least, right? That lifestyle was too hectic. Now I'm from New York,
Yeah.
right? I embody that lifestyle naturally. That's just in us, right? Like New York, Philly, Boston, we embody that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for some reason,
Right.
I wasn't able to handle it, right? In 2004, I was 19. And unfortunately, I caught my first panic attack. So I was dealing with anxiety my whole life. I've been dealing with it my whole life. I'm 39 now. I'll be 40 in September. But I've dealt with it my whole life, right? And the drugs, the women, which I'm sure you dealt with a lot of that, right? Just being around it, basically. Not saying you did it, but being around it. You know what I'm
Similar
saying? That
lifestyle. Yeah,
lifestyle.
definitely similar lifestyle. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So, but it's clearly up to the person to participate in those things, right? And me,
Absolutely.
me being around that, right, in the South Bronx in the 80s, seeing, friends and family friends be doped up and all these things, wasn't a good thing to see as a child. So I call it a promise, right, as a kid, that I would never indulge in that. But I was around it, so that caused that whole chaos, right? But it is what it is. I'm here now. I became a sports podcaster, right? Which I like to do things differently. I've always been that way. And what I do now is I podcast with NBA legends, and you're one of them. You know what I'm saying? You're
Appreciate
one of
it.
them, hands down. A lot of
Let's
people will
go.
probably
Let's
say, "Yo,
do it.
this dude is glazing." No, it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to a legend, and I thank you and I appreciate you for even answering, Dana. You know, real talk.
My man, that's what we do, man. We official, man. I'm blessed. I've always been a humble person on the court. I'm humble. I got a different attitude and mentality on the court, but on and off the court, I try to stay humble and understand that the universal God blessed me, and I shared those blessings as much as I could with as many people as I could. Financially, not just financially, but as put it in any purpose.
Right, right, right. Let me ask you this, Dana. Right? Who was the funniest teammate you ever had?
Damn, the funniest teammate I ever had. I think Gary Payton was the funniest without trying to be funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he just like the thing with Gary was people thought he was crazy. Like, he would start all these problems. He didn't start these problems. Like, he'd be minding his business, and somebody would say something to him, and then you see the Oakland Gary come out. He start talking out the side of his mouth, and it would be hilarious, just hilarious back and forth. I can't even say the stuff on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? I can't repeat it on the podcast because he had no filter, no filter. He didn't care. He was in the crowd. He didn't care who was listening. He didn't have no filter. That was my man. GP was my man. He was the funniest dude I played with.
It's crazy because I was going to ask you. The next question was, which NBA player could have made it as a stand-up comedian? You know what I'm saying? That was the next one. With all due respect to GP, but since you're saying he's funny,
without being funny. So yeah, he wasn't even trying to be funny. Just stand-up comedian. Man, let me see. Man, a lot of guys. D Brown was probably one of the funniest dudes who's tried to be funny. I'd say probably D Brown, man. D Brown. It was all about funny tricks and trades with him, changing your coat, putting different shit in your bottle and shit like that when you sipping it, drinking. So yeah, I'll probably say D Brown.
oh, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I actually hit up D Brown like 2 days ago. So hopefully, get to chat with him and have a sit down and do the same thing we're doing. But take me back take us back, right? To the beginning, right? What was growing up in Boston like for you?
Man, different, difficult. I mean, I'm born in '67, so all through the '80s, that's the crack era. That's the Nino Brown movie. That's literally what's going on through every major city in suburban America at this time. It's an epidemic, epidemic. So, and the difficult thing and the bad thing about that was the parks where I played was like the center for all that. You know what I mean? Like it was the place where everybody came to get the action, and it was the place where the court was. So growing up around all that was difficult. Having family members dealing with that stuff was difficult. But basketball was the one thing that took everything away. It kept me, mentally like out of that space. And that's I think why I became so focused on that, and that's what made me a great player. Was I was able to escape, that place by taking the ball and going to the park at 10 o'clock at night or at 8 o'clock in the morning before the action started. So that was the blessing that came out of the curse.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I agree with you. So when did exactly basketball become your passion?
From the time I can remember, my mom and dad had me at 16, so I remember being
Oh, they
3
were
years
very
old.
young parents.
Yeah, I'm 3 years old. I went to my dad's junior college game. Watched them play in this little shitty ass gym. There was nobody there. Like it wasn't like, oh, my dad is the shit. No, it wasn't even that. I'm just watching them run up and down this court. And I went to all his games, and from that point on, I never wanted to do anything else. Anything.
But basketball.
I can't remember, anything else.
Right. So it's safe to say that he was your influence, your earliest influence. Your
Definitely,
dad.
definitely, definitely. He played. He was actually he was like one of the straight point guards. Like he wasn't a scorer. He was fast. He could dribble through anything. And I remember him showing me like in eighth grade or something like that. He showed me a letter where he got an invitation to the Celtics summer tryout.
Wow.
And at that time was like a super inspirational thing to me, man, to see that. And he took me to my first game at the when the Celtics were playing back in the '70s with JoJo White and all that shit like that. I got to see Moses and Dr. J. Yeah, he was definitely an influence in terms of that, definitely.
So that shaped you as a player and a person.
Yeah, my mom and dad never got married, but it's crazy. My dad bought a house and lived on the third floor of a house literally the next street over.
Wow.
So I got to have that. I got to have that. Man, I got in trouble with my mom. Be like, take your ass next door around the corner to your dad's house.
Yeah.
He gonna handle that. He gonna handle that shit, right? So even though they weren't married, he was there every time anything happened, or he was at every game as well. So I always had that influence, definitely.
You were drafted by Seattle, correct?
Yep, 16th pick, which was crazy. I never talked to Seattle. I never visited Seattle for basketball. I'm watching the draft with my friend. I was in Chicago the day before the draft, and they told me they were going to take me with the 20th pick. So I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I'm about to play with MJ. This is going to be crazy. So I'm supposed to be a second round pick, late first round, second round pick. So I'm not even paying attention. And David Stern's like, with the 16th pick, Seattle selects Dana Barros or some shit like that. I'm like, who the fuck is who is? I'm not even. And then I see my picture. You know how they show the little video?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, that's me. I'm crying. I'm like, no, take that shit back. I want to go to Chicago. It took me a good hour or two to get back home and like relax and be like, damn, okay. And I got to Seattle and I got Sean Kemp was there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He lived next door to me, and it was on from there.
I met the Rain Man, super cool dude, man. Super humble, cool. Yeah, he official, like hands down. I met him at he was here not too long ago in Jersey, signing autographs, and I paid a fee, pulled up, and he was a GP actually, which is crazy. So I said, "What's up to both of them?" Super cool, man. Actually, we about to set up a part two as well. He invited me to Seattle. But I think he's going through something, but that's no here, no there. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know how that go. Yeah. But I know your breakout was with the Sixers, correct?
Yeah, I got traded in '93. So I was with Seattle from '89 to '93.
Right, I remember that.
And then I got traded to Philly in '93, and then I was there for 2 years. My second year there was first year I won Most Improved. And then the second year I made the All-Star team, and that was crazy. That was crazy shit. That was just, to not play for 3 years. I played like 7-8 minutes a game, sometimes 10 minutes a game behind Gary Payton for 3 years. So I hadn't really played in 3 years, and to get that opportunity and to make it happen was special for me inside personally.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, yeah, I agree with you. What clicked for you during that All-Star season?
Well, I mean, they drafted a guard, so when I got there, I wasn't really supposed to start. So they had a guy, B.J. Tyler. He was like the 10th or 11th, maybe 12th pick. So they were like pushing him to come in and take the team over, the young developing team. And he got hurt in preseason. And I took over. I was like, nah, he ain't getting this shit back, man. That's just my shit, right? All respect to BJ, that's my guy. But I just was like, nah, I've been waiting for this shit for 3 years. Nah, I got in there, started playing well, and I gotta give this Jeff Hornacek who played with me, right? He's white guard from Utah, bad, great player, man, just underrated player. And he would always just boo. He would say, dude, why you better than you think you are? And I give him a lot of credit that first year in Philly. He really gave me that. He gave me that battery, that put it in the pack for me, and I was got me going. And then from there, the confidence just grew, and it was over.
Jeff, I remember Jeff. Jeff had a little ritual at the free throw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout out to Jeff.
He did some shit.
Yeah, some wild stuff, man. I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, because you played alongside, man, against some of the the game's greats, man. And what's a moment, from your career that still gives you chills?
Man, this is the first game I played against Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like
Damn.
I'm
How you
I'm
how
like
you felt, Dana? Real
I'm
talk. Like
like
how you felt?
like so like when you watch what's the movie where they call the dude Nutso who used to play by himself by on the court? Was that New Jack City?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Facts. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that was me doing Michael Jordan. I'm Nutso at the park talking to myself. My whole youth through college and everything. So I get to the league and my first and my second exhibition game is against Chicago. So I'm bugging. I'm in the warm up line, like I'm not even in the line. I'm like pretending stretching, just watching Michael Jordan the whole time. And the first thing I
Word up.
noticed is I was like, oh, he big as shit. Like he was like 6'6", his arms was like this. I was like, damn, way bigger than I thought, right? So I get the ball on the court and I'm running around. Like the first or second time I get the ball, I turn around. Michael Jordan's like this. I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking Michael Jordan. I'm bugging. And he said, Dana, you ain't shooting no threes on me. And I'm like, how he even know my name? How he.
Yeah, yeah.
So this whole experience, so I get the ball, I pump fake and I drive and I think I'm by him. And I go to lay the ball up and he blocks it into the
Bloop.
stands, right? Everybody's laughing. Yo, Mike came up and put his arm around me. He's like, yo, I like that little man. And from that point on, he always like played that little game. I got Dana, man. He always, and for me, that was like the greatest thing ever, man. And if I would have been scared, been like, oh my God, that's Michael, and just passed the ball, I would have never had that 10-year experience with him.
Yeah,
Of him
yeah,
always been like, yeah, I
yeah.
got you.
That
That
special
was dope.
interaction.
That
That's
was
a
dope,
fact.
man.
Yeah, yo, that's
That was dope.
crazy, man. I've always wanted to ask you that. I'm telling you, man. Like anyone that played against Jordan, because see, here's the thing, right? I don't want to bring it up, but there's a lot of debate, right? Jordan or LeBron. I mean, I'm only 39, but I'm choosing MJ all the way. You know what I'm saying? I get it.
Yeah.
There's some 40-year-olds, 45-year-olds, 50-year-olds that pick LeBron. I don't know why. I mean, it is what it is. Personal preference, I think. But me, on the other hand, listen, I like Scotty better than LeBron, and that's real talk. That's just
Kobe
what it
too.
is.
Kobe
Yeah.
too.
See, but here's the thing, Dana. A lot of people say, "Oh, we had Kobe already, Jordan, because he emulated everything that Jordan did." A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, he ate gum the same as Jordan. He walked the same." Listen, they're two totally different people. But I
Right.
say my personal opinion, I got MJ, and of course, I mean, yeah, look, Kobe too, the Black Mamba. Yeah, to me, he's better than LeBron. But I get it. He's been playing for 20 something years, longer than
He had the longest career. Like if you want to say
yeah,
he had the best career, that don't mean you the best player. That's crazy. I mean, like, look, if you like I to physically watch this guy play, I before him and after him, I have never seen no shit like this. I never seen no guy fly through the air, hold the ball with his tongue out, and shit, and just going. It's never happened before, and it will never. It hasn't happened since. I don't care how high a dude can jump, he can't do the shit that this dude did, and that's just offensively. And when I try to explain to them that this dude was 9-team all first team, 9-time all first team, all defensive player, dude won 6 MVP finals MVP, 6 championships, the only player ever to win MVP and defensive player in the same year. Come on, man.
yeah.
I watched LeBron play. This dude turns the ball over. He doesn't even get back on defense. You watch Michael Jordan, you steal the ball from him, it's like a hyena chasing down a goddamn deer, man.
He's running after you. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
then you watch the errors. Like I go back and watch the Bad Boys thing. Yo, they was getting Mike up, man.
yeah,
He was
yeah,
going
yeah.
through the whole. They was it was like watching. It was like watching UFC. It was no flagrant fouls. It was 2 shots. Dudes didn't get suspended. It was a
A,
total
li- a
different
little
game, man. It was
technical, a
just,
little technical, and that's it.
and
Yeah,
then no hand checking back then. You could play. You could put your hand on people. There was no illegal defense, bro. You could stand 4 dudes on one side of the court when he had to like. it's so
Yeah.
different, man. You know,
Yeah, I go
Michael
with
Jordan
MJ.
flew commercial, bro. Michael Jordan flew on the plane with the babies when you could smoke cigarettes. Right? Yo, we went back to back, our back to back games. When you played the second game, you flew in the day of the game and you played the game the same day you flew.
Wow.
There was no flying out at 2 in the morning. They didn't. The airports closed down back then. You didn't have that. So we was flying into a city at 12:30 and playing that same night.
Yeah, that's
Like, come
crazy.
on, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. That's wow. Yeah, see, that's crazy. Holy wow, that's so he was your toughest matchup. It's safe to say he was your toughest matchup.
Yeah, I mean that's not even debatable. But to me, if you want to go like little guard tough matchups, like damn, like the only player that I ever played against that was faster than me and that gave me problems, just even like having the ball was Muggsy. Like Muggsy was like the
Wow.
fastest dude. Like I'm so used to being the fastest dude. Like Muggsy be up there, I'd be like, "Ugh," go by him. Be like, what is fuck? Oh, he back in, he right back in front of you again,
Yeah.
right? But
Muggsy was what?
Muggsy, I
He
would
was
say
what? Five.
5'2", 5'3", bro.
That
You
is
know,
crazy.
led the league in assists like 7, 8 years in a row, or 7 out of 8 years. And then I say AI, obviously AI, and then like one of the other dudes who just had so much game, he had like total game, and I always try to big up him is Tim Hardaway. All right,
Oh
major problem. You
yeah.
know, he had like bad knee problems in like Miami, but in Golden State, major problem, bro.
What crossover? Okay, now that we talking about Tim, which crossover to you? What was elite? The AI or the Tim Hardaways?
Ooh, I mean,
Because I know Tim came first
the
for sure.
Tim was a double move.
Boop boop.
The Tim went between the legs and then crossed you over. So, but he also will come down and just go between the legs and keep going. You
Yeah,
know,
I remember
so
that.
it was tough. And AI, you knew it was coming, but you still couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I would say Tim probably because he was like and Mahmoud Abdul Rauf had the illest shit too. Chris
Yeah.
Jackson, oh my God. He had the
Wow.
crazy crossover faster than anyone I ever seen too. That's another dude that gave me major problems. So, those dudes, they don't really get talked about. And Mahmoud got
I
kicked
got
out the league for religious beliefs and becoming a Muslim and not going
yeah.
out for the national anthem, cut his career short. But he should be in the Hall of Fame, man.
Yeah, here's the thing with that too, Dana. Like that shouldn't have happened, right? But now I think now, yeah, that's whack. I don't even want to, get into that, but yeah, that it shouldn't be like that. But back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I
It
mean
was
David
different. Yeah,
Stern,
it definitely was
yeah.
different.
If you could sit down with 18-year-old Dana, right? What advice would you give him?
Damn, that's a great question. The advice I would give him is when I got to the league, I just think I trusted people in the business, and thinking that because they may have been a GM or a coach or in the front office that, I trusted them and believed in things that they said. You know what I mean?
Right.
When I got to the league, and I very, very quickly learned it wasn't the truth. I would watch I would watch a coach or an organization tell a player, "We love you, man. Bring your family out here." He would go buy a house. We're never going to trade you, and then the next year they would trade him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
it was the dishonesty in the business was so alarming and shocking to me. I was just like, all right, I'm just going for Dola. Like, I don't, what I mean? I don't mean like, okay, until I get my contract, my big contract, which I got after my All-Star year, I didn't care about nothing. You put me in a game, fuck that play, man. I'm
Yeah.
pulling
Well,
up.
yeah. That's
You know,
talking about trades. What you thought about that Luca trade?
crazy. And then I think the conspiracies. players come out and you give them credibility when you do something like trading him for Anthony Davis. The equality of the trade wasn't there, and then Dallas gets the first pick. You create all kinds of my black spidey senses from the hood come up. You know what I'm saying? Like come on, man. Like
You think? I mean, I really don't like using that word, but I off camera, yeah. But you think you think that joint was rigged? Keep it
I'm
a
not
buck,
gonna
DB.
like. I think you open the door for people to say stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because you look back. Okay, let's look back at LeBron. Let's look back. Okay, he leaves Cleveland. They get back to back number one picks, bro. Back to back. Right now, we look at Anthony Davis getting traded from New Orleans to the Lakers. Totally lopsided trade. Bunch of young dudes in New Orleans ended up shipping out to other places, right? Who do they get the very next year? First pick, Zion Williamson. That shit might not be working out right now, but they still got the first pick.
Yeah. No, for
So
sure.
there's like a little pattern going on where okay, we're gonna mess up, we're gonna blow up your whole franchise, and then we're gonna hit you off with this this eight ball over here. You know
You
what I'm
think you
saying?
think you think they should trade Cooper Flag and try to go get Giannis?
No, I think right now, I think Nico, the GM,
Yeah.
he saved his face. Like he was enemy number one. Now everybody's like, oh shit, we got Cooper Flag. If he trades Cooper Flag, they better win a championship like immediately. Because the fans now have gotten back on the train and they've gotten back behind him. So for him to do that, that would be crazy. I think for the Dallas fans to just go through all that after him redeeming himself by getting the first pick. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's a
saying?
fact. You think Cooper the one though? A lot of people
No, I don't.
bigging
I
him up.
don't. I don't. I think he's a good all around player. But to be a franchise player, bro, like when I watch you, shit got to jump off the board all over the place.
That's a
You know what I
fact.
mean? Like you got to be given 30 a game. You got to be handling the rock. You got to be, like showing me you can do all. You got to guard people. You got to show me you can do all that shit. Like,
That's a fact.
and I think he's all around good player. He could be an all around great player. He may be a Scottie Pippen type. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Yeah,
saying no
yeah.
one's Scottie Pippen. I'm saying he could be a type that, a 5'2" player where I can do all this shit.
He
But to
tall, right?
me,
How tall is Cooper Flag?
maybe 6'8", 6'9",
Yeah,
I
that's
don't,
pretty
I
decent.
don't know.
That's
I
decent for the A.
could be a Gordon Hayward type player, not because he's white. I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I was about to say that. Yeah, Yo, DB,
but
because he white.
but
Word up.
Gordon came in the league and he up like my whole shit was like, oh, I'm sorry, Gordon. Like, damn, you
Nah,
know
he
what I
was
mean?
killing.
Like,
He was killing.
yeah, I was like, I'm sorry. So he could do that. Like Gordon wasn't like jumping to the top of the square. He was kind of athletic. He did a lot of different things. He could turn into a Gordon Hayward, but nah, I don't know. I'm not sure I would trade Giannis for him, man. Giannis is only 30.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they saying.
But here's the thing: Giannis is making 50. Cooper's making like 9 or 10. You're gonna have to trade like 5 other players with Cooper just to get Giannis because the salary's got to match up for the cap.
Yeah. Even with the Knicks now, right? Like I'm a huge Knicks fan. I mean, to be honest with you, I think, and I know you. I mean, you play for the Celtics. You work with the Celtics too, right? Correct. You do
Yeah,
like
I'm
media.
consultant. Yeah, I'm a consultant. Yeah.
Yeah. So, excuse me. But big up to the C's, man. I love the C's, but I'm a huge Knicks fan, and I feel like what you think about this? The series now, the Knicks and
Indiana.
Indiana. What do you think about that?
I think that it just the Knicks is only in a bad spot because they blew game one. That game one it just changed everything. It was an emotional. That shit was like so emotional. It takes time for you subconsciously to heal from that shit.
Yeah.
And I think it did. Just game five is an opportunity to get their spirit and their confidence back. And I think tonight's going to be a problem for Indiana. I really do. I think if Indiana doesn't come out and get the crowd into the game early, I think they're going to have a problem. I think Brunson is going to be on a 40, 50 point night. And if Anthony is making the shots, they're gonna have a problem, man. And to me, New York should be either tied or up in this series. But losing two at home, that shit don't happen, and then put yourself in a bad way.
I'm
But
just, I think JB. Honestly, who would have thought that JB would have played this way, right? I
never
never
thought.
thought. You know what I'm saying? I seen him play. Yeah, that's a fact. I seen him play with the Mavs, and yeah,
I grew up with his dad. He's from Salem, Mass. Eric Brunson played with me against me in high school. We were the same era.
a word. Oh
Yeah.
wow. Oh yeah. Shout out to Rick. Wow, that's crazy. See, I didn't even know that. I thought he was from Jersey.
Nah, he's from Salem, Mass. He's from Massachusetts.
Oh wow, yo, that's dope, man. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I mean, JB. I think so far, I think he is the nicest player. Right now in the playoffs, he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
But and I'm a huge fan, and it's whack for me to say this, but I feel like he ball hogging too much, right? He wants to be the hero, bro. I mean, you have Cat, man. You got the pick and roll. You can, you know what I'm saying, and then Cat he's standing by the, you know what I'm saying, like by the
Point
three.
line.
Yeah, like what are you doing? Like
he's
you
a
a big
matchup nightmare
dude.
for them. He to me, it should be more focused on Cat. He's a matchup nightmare for them, man.
Nobody could
And
guard him.
Brunson he'll run one pick and roll, then he'll run another pick and roll, then he'll run another pick and roll. And by the time that happens, the clock is so low that he either has to go or he passes it to someone like a grenade and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
So
gotta let it go. You gotta let it
yeah.
fly.
And
Yeah,
I
you're
didn't
right.
like playing with players who did that to me. I tell them, look, I let that shit go out of bounds. I say, look, man, I'm top six all time 3-point percentage. You ain't throwing me the grenade with 1 second on the clock. Messing my percentage up.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
a fact.
yeah, too much dribbling, man. Yeah, more movement and getting Cat more involved. And I think Indiana the same thing. Halliburton's a great player. All that dribbling. Siakam is the matchup nightmare for New York. Stop doing all that shit and give Siakam his 20 shots too. Just like Cat needs to get his 20 to 25 shots. I think both guards are dribbling too much at some times in the game.
You think if we win today, we got the series? We go back to New York and take it?
Yeah, I think you definitely. I think it goes to 60-40. I think New York fans, man, like they're different. You know what I mean? Like they've
Yeah, them
always
dudes is
supported the
wild.
Knicks, even though they haven't got the chip. They've always been there and supported them. But they'll boo your ass when you bullshit, right? They're like Boston. They ain't no fake fans. They know real basketball. Don't give me no fake shit. Just give me the effort I want, and I'm here clapping. But when you winning, that shit is different.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
shit is
yeah, yeah.
different.
We
You got
wild.
it's like being in LA. You got the stars out there, man. It's like, the fans is just as much as the focus until the game starts because there's so many people there, and it's just it's different. So I think that gives the Knicks a 10 to 15% advantage, man, going back to the Garden because that's different. And Indiana's going to have that advantage tonight, though, too. So we'll see if New York can withhold that first 10 to 15 minutes,
Yeah,
of that
their
energy.
crowd is tough too, man.
Yeah.
Their crowd is tough,
And
and
it's a
they
smaller
loud.
building, it's only like 14,000, and they're more on top of you. So they're right on top of you, man. And it's like a college atmosphere in there.
Yeah, no, it's loud. It's loud in there. It's crazy in there. Does that really affect the game?
Yeah, man. People don't understand how much energy changes you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And people think, and they call it momentum, but it's just energy. It's just
yeah.
ether. It's just the ether in the air. Like when someone is cooking and someone's heating up and someone's got like 20 in the first quarter, the hair on your when you got to guard that one, the hair on your neck is standing up, like because you like ain't shit I could do like. And then the building, like when I'm pulling down and I'm pulling up on a break, I can feel the energy like, oh, like the fans are like, he's about to shoot.
Yeah, yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
we
yeah.
we feel all that. And it also goes negative. When the Celtics lose a 20-point lead,
Yeah.
and you're that
Yeah.
dude, and that ball swings to
Yeah.
you in the corner,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and you got the three, and the crowd is like, nah, shoot the three. Like it's the negative
I'm gonna
energy
be
too.
real.
So
Like
the real
you
ones,
guys should have took it
yeah, the real ones,
1,000%.
the official ones, they block that. They block all that shit out. They don't. If they could go 0 for 19 and they taking that 20-year shot, it don't care what the TV announcers say. It don't care. It don't matter what the fans. That's why Kobe and MJ is MJ and Kobe,
That's a
right?
fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. What is the biggest misconception, right? Uh People have about making it to the NBA.
They think it's about. They think because you can score. You know what I'm saying? They think because you can score. That you're going to be a great player, or you could dunk. You know what I'm saying, like that. And then me, I averaged 40 a game in high school. No 3-point line yet. Just 40 buckets. Then I go to BC. I'm playing in the Big East. I averaged 25 a game my senior year. And then I get to the league, and my coaches is like, "Nah, bro, I need you to throw that shit inside." That's some confidence killing shit right there.
Yeah.
And that's what most
Yeah.
people don't understand. If 90% of the people can't carry that offensive game to the next level from college to pro. 90 to 95% of the people can't carry that. And then we start as a league start drafting people on potential and athleticism.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And to me, there's not enough teachers in the game of the basics. Like I look at shit like, dude, I teach 15-year-old kids how to shoot 90% from the line, and it's a technical thing. It's not a thing. I look at someone making $300 million, and you got to take them out at the end of the game because they can't make free throws, bro.
Wow. Yeah.
But they so athletic, you got to give them the money because the potential of what could happen. There's a lot of that going on in the league. You know what I
Is it
mean?
really a technical thing?
Definitely, bro. Like I'll tell you this: like you look at LeBron, right? And again, no disrespect, great player. We all think he's top 3, 4, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm going to show you a technical thing about his shot and his free throw. LeBron shoots the ball on top of his head like this, right?
Yeah.
Look at his elbow points out to the side. He cannot put his hand straight. It's an unnatural motion. You'll break your wrist trying to put your hand straight, right? So what he does is he turns a little sideways and he goes like this and tries to release the ball. That's a physics equation, bro. You're going sideways spin, trying to release the ball at the right time. He will never, ever, ever shoot 90% from the line. Ever. Now, you look
Wow.
at Steph Curry,
Oh
right?
yeah. 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 Yeah.
You look at Larry Bird or whoever. Everyone in that 90 Chauncey Billups, they all shoot here, bro. The elbow is straight.
Yeah. 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 You're
All
right.
you're thinking about is distance. When your elbow's out here, you can't put your hand straight. You'll break your wrist. So now, how does like a KG did the same thing, but how KG fixed it? KG shot free throws at a 45-degree angle, and now his hand was going straight to the basket. So
Oh
right,
wow.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
go watch
Yeah.
that. Go watch
Yeah. Yeah.
KG
Yeah.
shoot. He shot so bad this way that he fixed it by going like this, and now his hand was going straight. So as someone who was so technical watching a player, I could just tell, like, you're not going to be a great shooter with that technique, bro. Every single player who shoots the best 3-pointers and the best free throw shooters of all time are in this 3-inch window, man. You ain't got nobody shooting over 40% like this. I promise you.
Yo, that's crazy. Talking about Curry, is he the best shooter to
Ever,
you? Yeah.
ever.
Who you? Okay, so who you got after Curry?
Like, people think, okay, like, when I look at best shooters, I think about they can do everything. They can pull up off the dribble, come off the pick. They can curl. They can fade to the corner.
Right.
Every type of shot you name. I'm not even going to mention standstill shooters who just stand in the corner. You can't. That's not it. I'm sorry. All right. All love, respect to you, but that's not what we talking about when we talking about the greatest, right?
I agree.
So I'm going Steph Curry, Larry Bird.
Mm.
I'm going
The
Drazen
Great White.
Petrovic. Drazen Petrovic was unbelievable, man.
Well, he played
And
for the
I'm sure I'm
Nets,
gonna
right?
miss. I'm sure I'm gonna miss somebody.
Did
He
he play
died
for
in
the
a car
Nets?
accident. All right, so young people may not know him. He played in Europe for like 5 years and then came to the league. Unbelievable shooter, right? So he's top. He's in the top 7 like me. Um, and then I would say, I mean, I would pick Ray Allen or Reggie. Now here's the thing with those guys, right? People people get misconstrued and try to say that I'm disrespected. Like to me, Reggie Miller is one of the greatest clutch shooters ever, right?
Oh yeah.
Ever.
Oh yeah.
But if you want, we're talking percentage, it's like 38, 39, right? 37, I mean, 38 or whatever. So I look at the percentage as well. Like, okay, so I think Reggie's in that, and I think I put myself in that. All right, I'm 42% shooter, and that's the one place where I'm not going to allow myself to be humble, right? Because
Right.
that's what I perfected, and to me, I could shoot anywhere, any way. I was shooting 5 feet behind the line in the '80s in college. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing I couldn't do. My percentage is 42%. I've taken over 2,000 threes, and that's what it is. That's how it is in my book. That's just the way I see it. Don't mean I'm right.
No, you was listening, like I said again, man, in the beginning. And I've been telling you this for ever since I hit you up. Like, man, to me, and not because see, I want to say this, DB, right? Is it okay I called you DB?
Definitely,
Is that cool?
sure,
Okay,
definitely.
I want to say this, right? And I say this from the heart, brother. And this is what I say that each and every legend I speak to, whether it's boxing, baseball, basketball, you name it. Um, and this, I can. This is great that we're doing a pod, but what matters to me the most, you know what I'm saying, is the relationship, is the friendship that we can build, right? Obviously you're older than me, but I'm sure I can learn things from you, and not just from a sport, but in life. You know what I'm saying? And
Vice versa.
that's what I care about the most. I care about this right here, this us fellowshipping, this relationship, this friendship. Hey, yo, Mike, yo, pull up. You know what I mean? I'll take a drive down there. I'm originally from New York, but I live in Jersey now. So New York and Jersey, we right there. But yo, what up, yo, Mike, yo, listen, yo, DB, I'm out there. Give me a couple
For
of
sure.
hours. Like that's what I care about the most, And again, I appreciate you so much, man, for real, DB, because you know, there's a lot of folks that I hit up, and they super cool. Like not to mention names, but there's certain players that like to talk that money talk, right?
Mhm.
And I want to
Yeah.
say this, and I want to say this, right? And this is true story. My audience knows, my people knows. I've been retired for 7 years, DB, and
Right.
I retired my wife also 7 years ago. So we could do the money talk. We can go back and forth. That's nothing. But again, I don't think they see the bigger picture, which is, you know, and I want to say this, right? I became a man of God, 2 years ago. As you can see, I have, my crosses back there. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I don't know if you're religious, and I don't mean to throw anything towards your way with all due
Mhm.
respect, right? But I became a believer. I was a gangbanger, DB. I
Yeah.
was a gangbanger for 20 something years. I was a crip in a blood state in New York, right? Um, and I'm still here. And this is what I tell folks. I tell the younger folks, like, the only thing I needed to do in my book to be called a gangster or whatever you want to call it, right? The only thing I needed to do was to kill somebody.
Mhm.
And by the grace of God, I never did, right? Lord knows why. And even then, right, I never used my power because I had a lot of people under me. I never used my power to use it. I never used it for evil. You know what I'm saying? Like if you was rocking your red flag, and I know Boston, there's a lot of Bloods in Boston because I've been to Boston. You know what I'm saying? So I know there's a lot of gang ish going on out there for sure, for sure. Um, and shout out to the homie. I don't even want to say his name because he's down and out right now, but he know exactly who he's gonna see it. He know exactly who he is. But I can see you wearing a red flag and you on my block. We good, bro. Ain't no beef. You my
Right.
brother. It always been that way for me, DB. And people, it's crazy because I used to beef with my own set. Like, yo, what you doing, dude? You bugging? Like, nah, he an op, right? That's what they call it now. He a op or he an enemy. Like, no, he a brother, bro. Like he from the block. Just because he blood, he can't chill with us. No, you bugging. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been that way. And again, my point is this that I created this pod, right? Because I have a lot of friendships, right? Let's say a lot of NBA legends that I'm cool with. Katino Mobley's my guy. You know,
Played
Katino.
against him. Played against him. Tell him
Katino's
what
my
up.
guy. Like I talk to him all the time. Like me and him chop it up all the time. And Stephon Marbury, that's my guy as well. We
My
talk here
man
and there.
too.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, people like that, not to mention more, but you know, um, I felt like but besides having, NBA talks and how's your career and so forth, I feel like we can learn from each other because just by me saying my testimony, let's call it that, by me saying my testimony, a lot of people can learn from me. Right. And same goes for you, right? You
Yep.
saying your story. Look, I'm from Boston. I dealt with with a lot of raised in the crack era. Like a lot of people can learn from that. Yo, damn, DB could have took that route. He could have been a dope boy. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? But
Yep.
no, he took the this way, this route. You know what I mean? To make it to the NBA, to be where he's at now. He's a consultant. You from the hood, DB, and
Right.
look what you doing. Look where you at. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So people can learn from you, and that was the sole purpose for me starting this pod, right? To have a conversation, to get to know you, but to build that friendship, man, that means so
Definitely.
much to me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just
Definitely.
wanted to throw
Definitely.
that out there, brother. I just wanted to throw that out there, and I'm sorry that I went that route for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Nah, that listen, man. That I was raised in Catholic schools. My parents didn't send me to public schools because of the era that we was in, and didn't want me. They tried to keep me away from that as much as possible. Always been a religious person in terms of believing in a universal God.
Amen. Yeah,
Whatever religion it is, I believe in the energy, the spirit, the universal God. Um, and that's been with me my whole life. My wife and I, we've been together since high school, 40 years, right? So we didn't have a kid until we was almost 30 years old. We had like 6 different pregnancies. And I just remember, really that's the time having my son praying to that universal God that I would give up anything to have kids, you know what I mean? And that's when my life changed, having a son, my whole life changed, in terms of staying out the streets, staying out the clubs, doing all this. I just changed my whole life because I understood, the whole purpose of this shit, right? This is what we supposed to be doing. Me playing basketball has nothing to do with the purpose of me being here. My purpose is to do certain things to uplift the energy and the spirit of this earth and the universe, right? That's how I believe. That's what I feel. And as I got older, I understood that, and that's how I live my life today. I try to stay away from negative energy. I try to emit a positive energy every time I walk in the room and dissolve myself with people who don't live in that space.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. Yep. That's right. You made it far, DB. So a lot of people wish they were in your shoes for sure. There's a lot of folks that I know that wish they made it to the G League. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But you actually had the chance and the opportunity to play with these greats, man. MJ, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like you made it,
crazy,
DB. You made it.
crazy. You talking like I played in the eras. So listen, I started in 88, 89. So I started with Magic and Bird. I started playing against them for 4 years. I went into obviously MJ was there too. I went from the MJ, Akeem, Pat Ewing, Penny Hardaway, Tracy McGrady, Kobe, AI. Tim Duncan, Paul Malone, like great era, man. Great era. Where I in my last year I retired, I just missed LeBron. So I retired in '03. He came in
Yeah,
'03.
yeah,
So I just missed that. But man, I played in a great era where the game grew existentially to the point where it is now. When I came in the league, listen, I was a 16th pick. I made 200 my first year, 250, 300, 350. My All-Star year, I made like 450, 500,000. There was no money back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
None at all. That was money back then, but I wasn't buying no mansions and I didn't have no Benzes right out the gate. I had, after taxes, I made 100,000, you know?
Yep. A lot of
And
people don't know that you have to pay your agent too.
you know, they was wanting 15, 20%. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm doing my own shit after this. You know what I mean? Like,
You got to pay all these people. Not only that, but I'm sure you had your homies with you, right?
Listen, the homies was way late, man. I had like moms, dad, I had aunts, uncles that I took care of like 15, 20 people. Still to this
That's
day, still
crazy.
doing maybe like 7 or 8, still taking care of 7 or 8, you know. So like I said, the blessings have to be shared, man. You know, like
Absolutely.
that's you can't be selfish with that. You know what I mean? And I think that's when the karma comes back. That's when the universe comes back and gets you. You know?
Yeah, and bite you in the butt. Yep. Absolutely. We're about to move on to this segment, right? This is called quick. I call it quick hits.
All right.
Check this out, DB. Check this out. Toughest city to play in as a visitor.
New York.
Word? New York.
The
Yeah.
stadium is look. Madison Square Garden is dark. It's just like it's not like a. The only thing that gets you going is the music. Like the system is crazy in there. It's crazy, but dog, when you walk in, it's dark. It's this weird vibe. I mean, weird feeling of instead of a bright lit arena, and again, the aura of MSG is just it's there, bro. That shit is for real.
Got you. Best coach you ever had.
George Carl.
Oh wow. Rest in peace to George, right? Right?
He's close like that. I think he has some issues. Yeah, he might have.
Oh, okay.
He was sick for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. One NBA rule you change if you could.
I would change. Damn, what was I just saying? I would change. I would change. I would change that you lose your timeout when you get the challenge, man. If I win the challenge, why you taking my timeout away? Why can't I just keep challenging to the shit till I get some shit wrong, right?
you know which one I'd take? I'm gonna keep it real because I've been seeing it happen now, which is the hacker, whatever, hacker Shaq, hacker Mitch. I hate that, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then you get to the point where the game starts getting messed up. You can mess the whole momentum of the game. Remember I talked about energy?
Yeah.
You like say the crowd's going crazy, and you can just be like top 4 possessions in a row, ain't shit going on. The whole building just dead. Right? That's how you kill the energy of the game. You know. Same with the replays. Look, bro. If we see the replay 30 seconds after it, why it take you 6 minutes? You know what I mean? Like we've seen it. You know, like but they on the headphones. Now the whole momentum of the game is messed up.
Now you gotta go call Sea Caucus, New Jersey to go figure out what's going on. Yeah, you're right. Toughest referee.
Damn, what's his name?
Is he still in the league now?
No, he was the head of referees. It was Hugh something. He was a head of referees back in the day, bro. Him and David Sterner was like the military. Yo, I came out on the if your shorts was below your knees, $500 fine. If your socks was below your ankles, $500 fine. The shirt wasn't tucked in, $500 fine. Like it was crazy. And he was the referee, and
how long you had to pay that, DB? Was it right away?
They took it out to your next check.
That's
bro, when you
crazy.
get fined, you don't cut no checks. That shit coming out immediately.
Regardless. Regardless.
You know, so
best teammate.
Yeah, that's the thing. And me, my size, bro, I'm 5'11", so the smallest pair of shorts was past my knees no matter what, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I had
yeah,
to get
yeah.
an appeal, and I had to get the rule changed because every time I would come out, the referee would be like, "Yo, that's $500. I'm gonna write you up," and I'd be like, "Yo, go check the rules, bro. I already sent my shit in. These are small shorts.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean? This is
wild.
the shit I can do."
That's wild. You had to get them tailored and all that.
Nah, I just rolled it up, and they
Just wrote,
finally
yeah,
left me
yeah, yeah,
alone,
yeah.
man. You know what I'm saying?
You always had to tuck your jersey in too, right?
Yeah, especially after like when AI came in, it was just like they was trying to at one point they was trying to say the braids shouldn't be having the braid. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, that's
Like
wild, man.
it was just to the point where the brothers is like, all right, now y'all getting out of control with this, trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make
yeah.
everything look a certain way and doing this, because AI was changed the culture, man. You know what I
A
mean?
hundred,
He
a
came
hundred
in and
percent.
with the tattoos and the braids, and then he changed the culture.
I
And,
say, I
and
say that, I say that all the time. 100%. Like he changed it hands down. See, there's three. To me, there's three people that changed it. You got MJ for
yep,
his just overall AI because of the culture, right? The braids, the jewelry, the baggy shorts, and then of course Curry because now
and
everyone
Steph
shoot
Curry.
threes.
Steph Curry. Bro, listen, I got 50 AAU teams right now, right? Playing out here behind me in different courts, right?
15 or 50.
50
Wow.
Dana Barros teams, right? So I cannot tell you, bro, how many air ball step back threes I watch every week. You know what I'm saying? Trying to emulate this dude, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he's changed the game to the point where you can't ignore it. The game had to actually say, okay, we're gonna have to do this because he
Adapt
changed it
to
so
it.
much.
Yeah, you had to. Yeah, you had to adapt. You think? See, me and my partner was talking. You think there should be a rule for that? Like, let's say
For what?
you don't like for shooting threes. Like, you can't shoot threes, or try to change something. Because I'm not throwing shade, DB, but the C's
It's too many. Yeah, it's too many. It's too
they
many,
chuck up
bro.
about a buck a game, 60, 70 a game, probably more than that.
Yeah, they average like 49 or 50 a game, and that's the reason why you can lose the 20-point leads. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely, for
that's
not
why you
driving into the
have
lane.
such a great team, and then they could lose a 20-point lead because they're playing a metric system. They're playing mathematics. They're playing. If I make only 33% of these, that's like shooting 49% or 40 or 50% from the
Right,
two.
right,
So
right,
they're
right.
playing a mathematic game, and that's not gonna that over the course of a season, that will work out for you because you're taking millions and millions of shots, and the statistics might add up. But when you're in a 7-game series and it's 2-2 and you got to win game 5, all that shit don't matter. You know what I'm saying? The statistics don't matter when you get to that 1-2 game shit where now it's I could beat you 30 times in a row, but all I got to do is win one game.
That's
And
it.
that's where we at right now. So to
That's
me,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
too much. It's too much, bro.
So you think that there should be a rule? Like
No,
they
I think what happens is what happened is everyone's copied Golden State because they won, what, 5 championships, right? They won 5 championships in 10 years. So everybody now is just catching up to them trying to copy that mold. What you need now, let's say New York, and I this is blasphemous. I shouldn't even be saying this shit in Boston, right? But so let's say New York wins a championship and they play 3 bigs and they win by beating you up inside, or Indiana wins it that way by playing. Now all the teams are gonna be like, oh shit, they beat us by 2 bigs. How are we gonna do that? You see, because when we were signing Horford and we were signing all these people, we were worried about Embiid. Nobody could match up with him.
yeah.
We thought the league was going back to the big man, right? Because Jokic and Embiid and all these players, all of a sudden, it's getting to more of an inside game, and that shit was like, nope. And it just stayed with the 3-pointers. So until somebody wins, if Denver would have won 3 in a row by playing big ball, I think that would make a little change, start to change the NBA teams a little bit.
Yo, that's crazy, DB, that you say that because we build our team, New York build our team to go against y'all.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But y'all build your team to go against and beating them.
Yeah. We
That's
started and
crazy.
we started, and then once we figured we could beat them, even with Embiid playing, then that's when the metrics and the math came in.
You
we
guys are
felt
still
like,
the
oh
better
yeah,
squad anyway. You guys
yeah.
are way better than New York anyway. But you know, we I'm gonna keep it real. And again, I'm sorry, Knicks fans, but I'm a huge fan. But I gotta keep it a buck, man. Like we're not the better team. We just got lucky. That's it, man. You guys, you know, just kept on chucking it. Lost a 20-point lead first game, second game, same exact thing. And that's what made it, you know what I mean? But other than that, this is that's what I'm saying. Going back to the Indy series, right? To this series, like you can see, and I know we're better than Indiana. That's for sure. On paper, but listen, we're better overall. But for some reason, we're not we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, man. Like we don't look like the better team.
Indiana's controlling the tempo. You know, they're forcing the game to go up and
Yeah, the
down.
pace is crazy, DB. The
Yeah,
pace is sick.
I've never seen coaches call timeouts and not to make adjustments just to get rest for players. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, Rick
usually
Carlisle,
if they
man.
call a timeout and they're like, we got to do this shit, we got to do this shit. Now they're like, yo, go sit down and relax, man. Go sit down and relax. And that's why Indiana is keeping themselves, in the games and starting the games off, especially the first half and second half, man. They're coming out, up and down the court. And I think New York has finally gotten adjusted to that, though. They've finally
Think
gotten
so?
adjusted to that speed and that pace. And I think that's why these last two games are going to be tougher for Indiana, because that advantage, to me, I think that advantage is kind of dissipated, and it's more of a toss up to me at this point.
See, this is what Coutinho says, right? Coutinho said, yeah, Tibbs was my coach, but he's driving him to the floor. And
Tibbs,
it's
Tibbs,
true.
Tibbs be having Marcus take the shoot around, like going full
Yeah,
speed.
it's true.
Riley, that's that Riley. He was assisting with Riley, and that's what Riley did. That's why, like Tim Hardaway and them dude knees is messed up, man. Riley, they went take full practice on the day of a game, man. Like that's it,
Wow.
and that's how you wear people down. And in New York, they had a lot of injuries this year too, off and on, people out. So yeah, I mean, I think New York is finally adjusted to that though with the pace, and we'll see what happens. Cat got to stay out of foul trouble though, bro. Those silly fouls is
Yeah, them
driving me
silly.
crazy.
You holding somebody's wrist, or he wild, man. We need him, man. We need him. But I
Yeah,
got
he's
this
a
one
nightmare
question for
though.
you, DB.
Go ahead.
What does success mean to you now?
Success just means to me, like I used to think it was all this the money and the thing, and I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm gonna tell you people out there right now. I talked about a little bit of money I made like preseason, but I did get I signed like a 7-year, $20 million deal, right?
Yeah. Yes, you
Back
did.
in '95, all right, which was good money, real good money back then. And I'm gonna tell you, man, it was the worst time of my life, bro. I had to change my number every 6 months. I was never asked for money so many times.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, oh, this person. It was people asking you 9 or 10 times, and it was hard for me because, and to break it down like this, somebody asks you for thousands and thousands, you give it to them, and then you finally say no, right? And you say no, and you have the right to say no, right?
Absolutely.
But then the next day, you go do something. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go get this Ferrari, and then you drive it home in the Ferrari, like, damn, I
Yeah.
just paid 300, and he wanted 5 grand. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta fight with that. But I'm like, damn, I already gave him 25 grand. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
And
Wow.
that's the mind game that you play with yourself. Like, no, that's you asking me for money for stupid or stuff, that crazy stuff, and then you pull up in the drop Ferrari, and then you're like, oh shit, like, am I doing this right? And I fought with that so many times, man, because the money changes people, and I was so unhappy, bro. I was so unhappy, man, and I'm just glad now that I'm good.
Where you at now, DB? Mentally, where you at now?
I'm in a good space, man. Like I've been retired. Like I don't have a like I don't work. I have my pension. I have my
Right.
business. I do consulting for them. I can do whatever I want to do. Wake up whenever I want to wake up. And that peace and freedom is worth is priceless to me, man. You know, I had two kids that I could go to school, that I could watch their games and help them do what they do, and just be a father after running around for 14 years and not being there on birthdays at times because I'm
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
You know, that to me is greatness, man. Like being the best version of yourself. That's all you can be. That's what greatness should be to you. You can't be. I can't be as have Michael Jordan's greatness, whatever that is. That's his greatness. I don't. You know, I may not even want that shit after knowing my little my little 5 minutes, 15 minutes of fame. You know what I'm saying? So to me, live in your space, man. You know, doing something you love and having the freedom of peace. To me is priceless, and that's what I'm enjoying right now.
Couldn't have said it better, DB. But look, we're gonna close with this, right? What do you hope your legacy is, both as a player and as a man?
Well, as a man, I know, and I've been the same person my whole life. So as a man, everybody that knows me or knows somebody that knows me always says, "Yo, people say you official. You do what you say, and if you did something, you say you did it." You know what I'm saying? Good or bad, and that to me, I believe I'll go to the grave with that because I'm never going to move off that square. So I know people are going to say that I was official when I'm gone because I didn't live no other way. And as a player, and as a person, but as a player, man, I just want people to just the players that I played against, I get the respect from them, and that's all that matters. The greatest thing to me, Mike, the greatest thing that happens to me is when I take my son to NBA games, bro, and I see Sam Cassell, and I see Marbury, and I see Steve Kerr. We're walking through the hall, and they say to me right in front of my son, "Yo, you was a bad mark. I used to hate playing against you." That's all I ever need. I don't need no announcer to say nothing. I don't need nobody else to say something. When I see Jamal Crawford and he tells my son, "Yo, your dad was a effing problem," I'm Gucci. I'm Gucci.
That's fire. That that is so dope, man. Again, DB, like I said, I love the pod. By the way, it went great. I loved it, 1,000%. But to me, is this friendship. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
This friendship that if you allow it, of course, because I'm an open book. I'm over here with open arms, brother. You know. So to me,
We
that's
definitely on it, man. We gonna continue. We need to chop it up like once a month. You know what I mean? Just on
absolutely,
whatever. On whatever.
absolutely. Now, last but not least, DB, where can people connect with you or support your work today?
My Instagram is Dana Barros 3. So you can support me on Dana Barros 3 Instagram. I go over there, I show videos, I try to post some inspirational stuff. I got a clothing line, I sell hoodies and shorts and tees on there. And then my website for my gym is danabarros3.com. And you'll go on there, you'll see, man, I'm just so proud of this facility, man, and what I can do for so many kids and give them a somewhat of an outlet to get away like I had. So
Absolutely.
those are the ways you can reach out to me. DanaBarros3.com and Dana Barros 3 on Instagram. And like me and you just did, holler at me, man. I respond to everyone, good or bad. You know what I'm
Yes, he
saying?
do.
And
Yes, he do.
if I don't, it might take 2 or 3 days because I don't check my DMs every day. I'm a grown ass man. I'm not on Instagram all day. So I'm gonna get back to you eventually. You know what I'm saying? Maybe take 3 or 4 days, but yeah, man, just holler at me. I love conversations. We had it. I was on another podcast and he posted the Jordan and LeBron debate about a month ago, bro. They still fighting on my page over that, man.
Oh yeah. You gonna get that for you gonna get that forever. That's a fact. If you leave it on there,
So let's definitely send it to me. We'll send it to me. We'll play it. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm gonna send it to my editor now. Let him get straight to work.
no doubt.
And yeah, if you don't mind, DB, you know, I'm gonna text you after this, right? To just have a quick one-on-one and we go from there. So I thank you so much. I appreciate
Sounds
you,
good,
brother.
man. I'm always open, man.
I
I'm always
appreciate you,
open.
brother.
You know that.
And yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I'm gonna hit you up in a little bit, DB. Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Peace.